Okay, well, welcome everyone to our first monthly meeting of the Strategy Implementation Institute. Robin and I have been thinking about this for more than a year, having this monthly meeting with members of the Strategy Implementation community. So we are glad that after the successful conference a few weeks ago, we can finally get together as a community and start building this community together. I think the power, the potential that we have as professionals in this field it's incredible from a business perspective, from a change perspective, from a strategy, from an impact. So I'm very excited to be part of this community together with Robin, and it's in our hands how much we want to do, how much time we want to dedicate. We're starting on a monthly basis, but I think it's really the future is in our hands. So we'll see how this evolves. We're going to be using some agile approaches as well sometimes, but we look forward to having a great community journey all together. Robin?
Yeah, and the other side is that it's so wonderful. We did it a few weeks ago at the conference, but really with these monthly meetings is also for all of us to get to know each other better. For Antonio and I, we've met you on email, and many of you we've chatted on social media or email, but now we get to actually see the face behind the name, get to meet you, which we're so delighted to do. As many of you know, Antonio and I met about 4 or 5 years ago to discuss the possibility, the concept of bringing people passionate about strategy implementation together. It was actually we can tell you exactly where it was. We were both speaking at a strategy implementation conference in Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia. And while we were having lunch, we were discussing that both of us were frustrated that so many implementations were failing. And out of that lunch conversation, and I'd love to say we drew it on the back of a napkin, but we didn't. But out of the conversation was the birth of the Institute. And today is another milestone along that journey with the start now of the monthly meetings. And today's meeting will be a little bit different because we want to hear from you about what will be of value to discuss 1 hour a month as well. So we put a few different things together in preparation for today. Antonio.
So yeah, we have a couple of, you've seen the agenda. We don't need to spend much time, but basically we want your input. So you'll see several breakout rooms, one on the monthly poll questions. So for our research for the Institute, we'll have a monthly poll question. So that's where we ask you your input. We have also the new trends in the implementation industry based on the feedback received. We have some updates on the strategy implementation body of knowledge, some feedback on the conference, content that we've been reviewing. As you know, part of the commitment from Robin and I is to provide you updates on the content. We believe that content changes, especially nowadays. So things will be removed, things will be added. We count on your advice as well there if you find anything relevant to share, and then some survey suggestion. So that will take us until the end of the hour. On the monthly meeting, this is something that we have surveyed and discussed. So some of you might have participated, some others not. But basically, there are about 8 points that we think this monthly meeting could serve us, and the objectives. Discuss the various topics on strategy implementation. You are as professional and experts in strategy as Robin and I, and from a practitioner level as well. So it's always good to have your input on this part. Platform to network. I think the nice thing about this COVID situation is that it's much easier to network. So we hope that you network with anybody in this group as well. It's quite very easy. Updates on the course, answer some questions, feedback from yourselves, share new events and activities, debate new trends in our field. I don't see there, as you know, I come from the PMI community, and there's about 10,000 people in the community active. So my dream, our dream, is to have something similar. So volunteering, it's something that we would like to have, that to provide you opportunities to volunteer. We're still a bit early in the process, but I think there we can do a lot as well, and even better than what we have. So that's kind of setting a bit the scene. Robin?
So we asked you, and some of you were kind enough to complete. We did a survey after the conference, very much to practice what we preach, to get feedback, to be customer centric. And one of the questions in the survey was prioritize these topics in terms of what you want to discuss. So the slide that I'm sharing, you can clearly see that there were, using Pareto's 80-20, there were two that really stood out. Discover new strategy trends. So one of the things going forward we will be doing is identifying what's happening within the industry, sharing best practices, use case stories from around the world. Not only from Antonio and myself, but from all the members, those who would like to volunteer and contribute. And then the second one was discuss various topics on implementation. So during the meetings, we'll have deep dives, we'll have different breakouts. So today we have two lighter breakouts as it's our first meeting, but next month they will be more frequent. And I'll just add on to one thing, Antonio, that you were talking. What we will be doing is varying the time. I live in Singapore, Antonio lives in Belgium. So we're going to use that, and some of the members cannot attend today because of the timing. So I will host it at an earlier time, and we'll vary it month from month, so that people can attend during different times. Okay, which is what I just covered. There we go. All right. And Antonio, you got the question?
Yeah, so the first question of the month, and I'm going to put the link in the chat. So I don't know if I can share quickly my screen here. I'll give it back to you.
Let me just
Robin, let me quickly share the link.
Let me stop sharing. There we go. So just while Tony's looking at that, one of the things we'd like to do is tap into the community to start doing more research through the Institute. And we thought the monthly meetings will be a great opportunity to share a message, to ask a question once a month. So the question will be very short and simple. Today's question is, do you believe organizations are effective at crafting strategy?
And here comes the link in the chat. So you will be linked to something in LinkedIn. So we're using, let me see if we're testing this. We're testing this. And what it will take you is to this, I've used this in the past for my project management community. So you should be getting into a poll like this, and you just need to answer yes or no. So you'll get the poll. You see there's already 100 views. We just posted like 10 minutes ago, 4 votes, and it's open for 2 weeks. So with this, we'll be able to have good information for publication later on, thought leadership. So I hope it works. Just click the link and just vote. You can, of course, comment if you have any approach or anything that works. More details are always great, but just with the vote, it's great as well. So is your organization effective at crafting strategy, or what we used to call strategic planning? Voila, you got it? It works? Good, thank you. Back to you, Robin.
Okay. So The main outcome from the survey was to leverage and use our time together. Networking is an obvious advantage and one of the core focuses of the Institute to bring people, implementers from around the world together because we've never had that platform before. So we're delighted that we're able to do that now. But we'd also like to hear from you. So we're going to go into breakouts in just a moment. Antonio's going to set them up. And the breakouts is very straightforward. We're just going to ask you to brainstorm on different topics that you would like to discuss in future meetings. So we'd like you to help us craft the agenda. And we'll give you 10 minutes in the meeting. So please use the first couple of minutes. If you've not met your last month at the conference, please introduce yourself, get to know each other. And then after the 10 minutes, all we're going to ask you to do is to post into the chat room key topics that you would like to see discussed over the next few months. And if you can post no more than 3, so we'll ask each group to post anywhere between 1 to 3. And then obviously if they're replicated, that will put more emphasis on the need. But it will help us, you'll contribute to helping build the agenda for future meetings. Any comments or questions before we go into the breakouts?
Should we do a quick round from each group with any 1 or 2 topics that came in the discussion? Should we start with first group? Who was with, I know Andre was there, Gurpreet. Jonah, who wants to quickly share?
Go ahead, Gurpreet.
Oh, okay. Thank you. We discussed 3 main topics that it'd be good to better understand and share strategy experiences. That would be really helpful. And also leadership and the future of communication as a second one. And a third one, complexity science and the impact it has on strategy implementation, how you can better manage that. So that's looking at the softer side where you've got an interplay of gossip, interactions, inclusion, exclusion between individuals and how that can effectively change the course of your strategy. So if you're on an intended course, but because of these different types of interplays, how that can adversely or positively impact your strategy implementation, how you can better manage that. Ayrton, was there anything else?
You.
No, you did great. Thanks.
Very well. Nice done,
Very good
group.
summary. Well presented.
Very good summary. Then we have the group with Abdullah, Daniel, Henrik, Joe. Anything new to add to that list, if you had the time?
We had 2 broad subjects, and they are very big. So feel free to chip in the others in our group as well. So one is agile as a methodology and how that impacts on strategy implementation, top down versus kind of autonomous teams in terms of strategy, and also disruptive events like COVID and agile responses to that. Had, could that undo strategy? Could that be opportunity for strategy? That was one big theme, agile as a big bucket, and the other big bucket was various constraints or legal or regulatory requirements that comes to a particular industry. So in my one would be new regulation to do with or constraints to do with energy. And Joe gave a brilliant example of something that's coming into US police enforcement, which is 600 pages of stuff that they have to incorporate. So anything else, Ahmed, Joe, Allah, etc.?
Okay.
Those were the 2 big subjects anyway.
Thank you, Henrik. Well done, group 2. Group 3, Ana, Osam, Jorge, Luis, Ricardo, anything to add?
Yeah, for group 3, I think we have 2-3 points. The first one is how to get access to the platform once you are certified, SAP certified. We want to keep having access to the platform so we can read the articles and we get more information about the interaction with the other people. And the duration of the SAP, I think you keep it open only for 2 months or 3 months. I think it's not enough given the fact that we are busy working also. I think maybe if we can open it for more time. And also we discussed if there is any tools or technique can be summarized in a flashcard, so we can get it easily. We can get it easy and we can use it in our daily, day-to-day business. If there is any other point, please feel free to add. Team 3.
Great,
Thank you.
Thank you, Mos. Yes, this is feedback we need for the course and so on. So we will consider all these options. But thank you for the feedback. Up group 4, Anibal, Dan, David, Faisal, Larry, Yolanda. Anything to add?
Oh, this is Dan. Maybe Yolanda, you and I can try and cover for the team. And actually, the first one that came up, Yolanda, you mentioned around OKRs and how effective they are for strategy cascade. And then a bigger topic emerged around agile. And I think Arabelle, you agreed, agility and what agile means in terms of strategy implementation. Because there's a lot of buzzwords, there's agile from a team project concept, but also there's agile dimensions to culture and organizational approaches. Thinking of that big McKinsey article, and then does that resonate, Yolanda? Did I capture that correctly? Okay. And then we had Larry made a great point, understanding, and Robin, thanks for your input there, who joined our group temporarily, around understanding what we mean by the failure of strategy implementation and setting criteria for that. And Yolanda made a great point. Could we frame perhaps more as a change management strategy as well, around recognizing the successes around the original objectives. And Robin reminded us that he's going to cover in his new book about setting sort of percentage or success rate, or the amount of things that were successfully changed. So that was really great way to think about that. And then David, you made a great point. Sorry, Larry always also thought it'd be great to talk about, that we all agreed on, was about sustaining strategy, maintaining momentum. And Yolanda made a great point about the link to culture. And I like that in the context of organizational mindset around how we maintain momentum. And within that, well, what do we see is the current concept around what is a normal life cycle of a strategy? We know it's not 10 years anymore, it's not 3 horizons, is it 1 year, is it 3 months? And how do we enable a connection to such rapid changing strategies? And then David made a great point regarding transformation trends, also in the context of COVID. So there's a common theme there across groups, particularly, who are the winners and losers in terms of organizations that have adapted to remote working and the COVID situation. Just going back to Arabelle, and that was an area I was interested in. What's the contemporary view on the balanced scorecard, and how is that really being used by organizations now? Is it really meaningful? And what's the contemporary view on how the balanced scorecard be used for strategy implementation? Did I capture everything, team? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many topics. Thanks for, no, you did very well.
Summary, well done. Well,
yeah.
Okay.
I was just, again, on the topic between strategy and culture. For global organizations, how do you handle local aspects? I mean, where are the limits and how does that work?
Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you. All very, very interesting points here. Thank you, Dan, Yolanda, and the group. Last group, I think there was a very small group. I don't know why. Alain, who was in the last group? Group number 5. Robin, you remember?
I don't, sorry, I didn't make a note. Any volunteers from group 5?
I think it was the
yeah,
and Alan and James as well. Is it?
Yes. So
Right.
you want to just briefly share?
Sure, absolutely. Well, the points that we're discussing in order to highlight the interesting topics. Number one is the organization culture and how it plays a part with the strategy implementation, and how it can have certain consequences with this VUCA environment that we live in, especially when it comes to impacting employee turnover, for example. Another interesting point was what would be the most effective tools we can have and a system in tracking performance. And my also point was the strategic alignment, how we can have an accurate validation of projects and how it contributes to strategy with proper verification tools as well. Because if we look, for example, to at Phillips ROI model, we see there are a lot of tricks in isolating the project effect and trying to understand the accurate contribution of our efforts toward the strategy. So those were the main, interesting points that we thought we should share with you guys.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you everyone for the inputs. It's very, very enriching. Robin, you want to go to the next part?
Yep. Okay. So thank you everyone for your contributions. What we will do is we will make a list. Then, we'll look at it, maybe we'll vote on it. But what it will do is set the agenda for the next few months. We have 20 minutes left and we have 4 or 5 things still to cover. A couple of them are very quick. The next one we would like to share, and one of the groups was mentioning this, group 3, and some of you commented that you haven't received or been able to download it. So if you haven't received your body of knowledge from the Institute, then please email us and you'll get it immediately, within the next day of the email, but straight away. So the body of knowledge, Antonio and I appreciate that the course is only open for 12 weeks. And we don't want you to lose the knowledge and the investment that you've made. So what we've done is we've crafted and started to put together the body of knowledge. And we came up with an early version that we decided to send to you because many people were about to do the exam. And we're delighted to say that we've now had it professionally proofread, and we're just working on the proofreading now. And this month it will be uploaded into Amazon. But of course, as members, you will all receive the complimentary updated version. Thank you to all of you who attended the conference. It was a great kickoff, great inaugural conference, great feedback on our speakers, the practitioners, and the academics. So we did a survey, and I'm just going to briefly share the results with you. The overall rating was 4.3 out of 5. So yes, it's good, but we're always looking to improve. So we asked you why. You can see the comments, the verbatim, good mix of information sharing, discussion experience, excellent speaker value, like the format of the breakouts. That was one of the most popular feedback. Interactive and engaging, presentations top notch, thoroughly enjoyed the interactions. So this will be a common theme in the monthly meetings as well, where we get to chat and discuss different things. Key takeaways from the conference, just briefly a few of them. The future of PMO variation to the implementation office, the need to continuously improve, how challenging implementation is. They liked Tony's presentation on people-centric approach. And one of the main ones was culture still remains one of the biggest challenges. We also used while we were reaching out to you to get some feedback on the Institute. And some of your comments, the rating was 4.4. People like that it's a connector within the industry, the online community that thanks to you as early adopters, we're able to build. A platform to discuss challenges. More case studies about recent strategy implementation projects, and more frequent meeting opportunities. So we've listened to that and we'll build that in. The online course, similar rating, 4.2. It's engaging. People like the variety. They like the body of knowledge that comes with it, the link to external documents, the depth of it, and learning about the implementation. Just on that note, the course content is a living document, as is the body of knowledge, and we'll constantly update it. We welcome volunteers who want to contribute and be part of it as well. The benefits of taking your SIP, your Strategy Implementation Professional course: predominant reasons: in industry recognition, knowledge authority, recognition at work, to give you more confidence in your own work, extra bonus points on your resume, CV, and being recognized as someone who is dedicated to make successful strategy execution a key focus in their organization, which is wonderful because that's our goal. So next topic we'd like to share, and this is something that it's the first time we've had the opportunity to. Some of you may be aware that when you took or taking the course, there's actually a leadership board that shows you how you're doing against the other members. Okay. So Moaz, you're with us, so congratulations. Millwall, I don't think is on the call. I've got all 7, but I have to show you them individually. I can't group them. So you can see here the stakeholder, track performance, and financial value. The points are your contribution throughout the course. And you earn points by answering questions, discussing, using the material. Okay. And for the other 4, for culture, Moaz again. For the business model, Gary's come out on top. Employee engagement, well done, Moaz. Thank you for all your hard work. And for leadership excellence, currently it's Millville. Donna, you're with us, so thank you for that. You're ranked up there as well. Okay, Ricardo, you can see some of us who are joined us. So well done for you. Okay. And next thing, and really, the last thing we'd like to do, so we're bang on time, is another purpose of the Institute. Okay. Last month it was the conference. This month it's the start of the monthly meetings. In the next few weeks it will be the launch of the body of knowledge. But another thing that Antonio and I would like to focus on is providing in-depth research from the Institute. So Antonio already launched an early question about how effective is your organization at crafting strategy. But we would like to hear from you. We'd love your inputs into what do you think will be effective, because we're building a wonderful community and we want to leverage that and maximize the value. So what should we be researching in the field of strategy implementation? Now, there's very little research that's done on a regular and a global basis. And the Institute gives us that platform to open up and to really start to understand the trends and what is happening, that we could even possibly publish every year. So we'd like to open it up now. We were thinking of doing breakouts, but we only have about 5 minutes left. So maybe we could just open it up to the group and we could hear from you what you think will of interest to research, or key questions you think we should be asking that would be effective and useful to know, that we can start to look and identify trends through the Institute that we would share together. Let me open it up for comments.
You can raise your hand in reactions, just put a hand as well otherwise, or just so that we can have a bit of order. So yeah, Alan, you had some point I see already. You want to speak?
Hi, good day, everybody. I'm just curious as to those organizations that do get strategy implementation right. They probably have not always gotten it right. So what would they have done? What changes would they have made that triggered that improvement in process and improvement in getting those results. So something would have happened at some point in time. If we can identify what that might be, and probably use that to dive deeper and probably get better insights.
Thank you, Alan. Good question. Moose? What?
Yeah, this is Moaz.
Moise,
Maybe it will be, yeah, it will be interesting maybe to do some kind of research to see what will be the characteristic of the leaders, like to have the success factors and failures, to have a successful strategy implementation or not. So what will be the main characteristics of that leader who succeeded or failed his strategy implementation in different industries?
Thank you, Moose. Good question. Yolanda.
Hi, I have two questions actually. One of them would be if organizations if they proactively cascade strategy across their organization and if they have tools for that, or tools or whatever you want to call it. And the other one will be regarding indicators. Like how do they actually make sure whether a strategy is a success or a failure?
Yolanda, can I ask you just to go back a step? Their first one, when you say proactively, how do you mean? Are you coming from communication,
If they have,
or engagement,
yeah,
or training?
Again, yeah, maybe tools is the right word because OKRs, it's a protocol. So that's why I was doubting about the term. But if they have a tool or, yeah, I don't know how to call it again, sorry.
Okay.
To actually, yeah, that's why I mean proactively, other than just expecting people to learn about it somehow. And more than communication. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Yolanda. Andre.
Thank you.
I'd like to take a point here. Is about if you could create some small communities for regions, because I think there's difference between the regions regarding the position today and how regarding development and technology, etc. And maybe there is something different that you may have to do to put the implementation in the right path. Another thing is we have to understand that we have to be linked each other and in a better way to exchange this information. Here we have people from all over the world, but there's something special in each other, especially regarding some industries. If you are working in engineering or in technology or in pharmaceutical, agricultural, each have a special thing regarding strategy and culture and leadership. I think we have to be careful regarding this.
Thank you, Andre. Good point. Yeah, the regionalization or industry, I think at this stage will be a bit difficult, but I can see the opportunity there.
And we have to, excuse me, but I think to have more members, have to have a strategy to leverage each region, how to leverage more members in each region. I think have to understand about this also, because not so easy to communicate this in the same way all over the world.
Thank you, Andre. I think once we'll have the critical mass, it will be certainly a good point. Yeah, thank you, Andre. Arton.
Hey, Antonio. Yeah, one area that I thought it's for the research, it's the how we can understand better the relation between strategy, culture, and implementation. What I learned is that these three components, they are very key in how they interact with each other to be successful to implement the strategy. So I'd like to see more research, and if I can help in that area, I'm going to be very pleased as well.
Okay, thank you. And Andre, you did already. Sorry, your hand's still up.
All done.
Moise?
Yes, we have them all.
And Moise as well?
Yeah, anybody else wants to share? We have still 1 more minute. We'll start with this. We can always evolve, and I'm sure we'll get more ideas as we get started. So it's just the first. Just a reminder for those who started a bit late. We started with a first.
Excuse me, Anthony.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so I apologize. I joined maybe lately in the beginning of the meeting because I am still in the working hour. But I have 2 points maybe that will help a lot in our institute. The first point, or the thing, maybe it will help us as a strategic implementer professional, how we can recognize or make sure the strategy that what we have in our organization or any organization build solid with covering all the point, all the aspects, so we can implement it. So we can, if there is a checklist or a point we need to consider, how we make sure this strategy it is built and accurate and cover all the points that need to be done in the strategy. The second point, what I am or interested in, how we can build the dashboard. What is the main point that need to be in the dashboard, or the KPIs that the executive or the leader need to be following or monitoring these KPIs or criteria that help to show the progress in the strategy. So this is the 2 points.
Thank you, Allah. Yeah, good point. There was a comment from Shona. She has no mic as well. My interest in adapting strategy for large temporary organizations, major games, construction projects, interesting mix of skills and culture, but generally led by industry specialists. So good point. Yeah, temporary organizations like major projects, how does strategy implementation relate? Thank you for that, Shona.
Okay. So wow, it flies by. First of all, thank you to everyone. You are the early adopters. The Institute has just celebrated its first birthday. Antonio and I spent about 2.5 years putting together the content and building the platform, but we only went to hard live at the beginning of January last year. So thank you to all of you for being early adopters, supporters, and drivers who've taken the initiative in your own field. It's wonderful to interact and see you all. The next meeting will be on the 6th of April, which is the first Tuesday of April. The timing will vary, as we've mentioned, each month, because obviously we are global, from Australia and New Zealand across to South America and North America. So to allow and be easier for everyone, it will vary each time, but we will record the sessions. And one more note is we sent out a message yesterday. The videos from the conference are now on our YouTube channel. And if you'd like to see the presentation from the speakers, it's all available complimentary on the channel. Antonio? You're on mute, Antonio. The most frequent Zoom comment.
Yeah, the most frequent. So two things, like Robin was saying, I see this you as like Robin was saying, pioneers, early adopters. I had the chance to meet some people in PMI. The first PMP certification was in 1986. So imagine you're in that phase. We're in that phase. In 5-10 years, we'll be seeing like, wow, these are the early. We were jealous, at least in PMI, for those people. So I think we're starting the journey, and we hope that in 5-10 years, we're seen as those top 100, top 200 early adopters who joined that. And so thank you. I really appreciate your time here with us, and I'm sure we can build something very powerful. If you didn't do it already, please complete the survey. We have already about 2,000 views and 50 replies. So the more we get, the more power we will bring to this research. So I look forward to see you in a month. Of course, we are reachable by mail almost any time. We would like to hear specific feedback or any ideas. So don't wait until a month if you have something to share. And we appreciate a lot. We're starting, so any help you can do us to promote the institute, to get additional students, this will also make us more relevant. We're doing a lot of good discussions with very strong training companies around the world. We talk to the most important training companies, at least in the project management space. They all, IIL, Learning Tree, they tell us this is something special. There's nobody in the strategy implementation who can deliver a training, practical, who can build a community. So we just need a bit more time to build that. We're signing partnership with very strong companies so that this becomes something like almost mandatory in organizations. So any help you can do that, please let us know. We're looking for partners as well.
And see you all in 4 weeks' time. Thank you to everyone for joining our inaugural monthly meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
See you. Take care.
Thanks, bye.
Thanks all.
Bye.
See you next month, guys. Bye-bye.
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 Bye.